All right, hello everybody, and welcome to episode number 43 of the PTFooty podcast. Unfortunately, Hugo can't be with us today, but we still have the whole crew here. We got Kevin,
What's up, everybody?
Sammy.
That is just not my name. But
Yeah.
okay,
Would you prefer Salty Sam?
Sammy Fonseca.
I prefer just Sam, which is my actual name. To be
Sexy
fair,
Sam.
that one I
Samuel.
don't mind. That one's fine.
Okay, we got Sexy Sam and Zach.
Yo, what's up? I'm still here.
Yeah, good. All right, so I want to start off the podcast mentioning a couple things. First things first, if you haven't checked out the intro and the outro that we just put in the latest episode, do check it out. It's quite cool. Kevin made it. Thank you, Kevin.
Ooh, thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, no problem.
It's good work. We made some changes to the website. It's kind of a bit better, I think. I wrote an article about Louis Vuitton's renewal with Benfica. Go check that out. We got a lot of guests coming in. Next week, we're going to have Rich. He's a Porto fan that DM'd us that he'd like to be on. So he's going to be on. Timo is going to be on. Get This Chaves World is going to be on. And P-Soccer.com is also most likely going to be on as well. So we got a lot of guests coming in, and it should be good.
That's Thiago, though, evidently.
And I also want to mention, what happened in Dortmund today. We're all sorry about what's been happening. We don't know what the hell it is. Nobody knows quite yet. But, when
Prayers
you
for
postpone a
Dortmund.
game, exactly, you need to do something. All right. So I want...
My
Yeah?
sincere praise from my Passover group to the fans of Dortmund and Monaco.
Yep. All right. So I want to start off with an off-topic... I don't want to... I guess.
Somebody else to host this thing. I think Peterson's just too off topic right now.
I think he's been smoking some of your good shit, Zach.
Kevin, you want to take the wheel here, bro?
No, you don't.
This
All
girl's-
right. I don't know what this criticism is coming from now. Come on. What the hell? I'm not excited that type of stuff. Come on.
The office. Like, sometimes I'll just begin a sentence and I don't know where it's going, and I just hope it finds me.
Oh, we know you do that. All right. But I do know what I'm doing because I'm writing off a sheet. Okay, so I do know where I'm going. I want to start it off with a off-topic obviously, but it's Porto related, or kind of Porto related. As we just lost Zach. Okay,
Of course, who else would it be?
So my dad was talking a little bit ago how good Alexandro is right now, as we got Zach back, and I was discussing with him that at the time, Danilo was like literally considered the best fullback in Porto, and now he's basically in obscurity while Alexandro is such, a higher player, a much better player than him. Kevin, do you agree with me that back when both of them were at Porto, that Danilo got the high praise?
Yeah, and in my opinion, Danilo was better than Alexandro. Not saying that Alexandro wasn't any good, but he just had the edge on him. He was scoring more goals. You can play him in more positions. We played him in the midfield. Obviously, he was our right back. Basically, he was more versatile than Alexandro. But Alexandro is a great player, but he's just strictly a left back. You can't really put him anywhere else.
Yeah, but the growth of both is absolutely ridiculous. Like Danilo has been stale for a while now. He's basically done at Real Madrid. And Alexandro, who was not pegged to be as good as Danilo, is right now one of the best fullbacks in football.
But in all fairness, though, it's two different leagues.
Yeah.
Obviously. But I was just, I just wanted to ask you, what do you think gave that edge to Alexandre over Danilo? Is it the playing time? Is it playing next to Patrice Evra, which was one of the best left backs in the world? Is it Allegri?
Oh, I think that this question, honestly, I don't really watch either of those leagues really that much. I think this is a question for Zach. This might be really right up his alley. So,
Right. Okay. Well, Zach.
Between, I mean,
So when you know what I was talking about in the beginning, because you kind of
and I was
uh,
following. I followed Danilo, like from the very start, really. I think that the Danilo signing, he was great at Porto, but I think that signing was, Barca's got a transfer ban. We're gonna use the transfer ban to, we see that Barca are interested, so we're gonna use transfer ban to kind of like get revenge, sort of. You know what I mean? Like they wanted to do it because Barca were after it, and it seemed
hmm
like that was the only reason they actually bought the deal. Meanwhile, they've got arguably the two best fullbacks in the world in Donny Carvajal and Marcelo. I still think that Danilo is quite good. He's underrated, but he's definitely not as like um, you know not nowhere near as good as either of those two. Meanwhile, Sandro chose a team where he could play at. I mean, Evra was clearly declining. Um, I think that was apparent from his later years at United, and a move to Juventus doesn't change the fact that he was declining.
hmm
So I mean, I always thought that Alexandro looked like the better fullback of the two at Juventus. I mean
What?
At Porto,
Yeah.
yeah, I seemed like he had more to his game, but they were kind of similar. Um,
Yeah, I'm only saying this because in Portugal it was clear as day, like it was obvious to everyone that Danilo was seen as a much higher prospect than Alexander. Although both were considered good, everybody pegged Danilo was the next big thing, and not Alexander. Well, right now he's probably one of the best left
I think
backs
actually
playing
argue
football.
been the best Juventus player. Certainly, like maybe top three this season. And he was phenomenal. Um, he's incredible. I think that um, maybe Danilo should have chosen Juve as well. I don't know if he had the choice, but I think that trying to get the right back spot off Lichtsteiner is certainly more feasible than getting the right back spot off. Um,
Carvajal.
I just think that this Real Madrid squad, despite having pretty average coach in Zidane, it's so
hmm
it's so it's.
Rich.
I mean, look at the bench warmers they have, right? Look.
Yeah.
I mean, um, Morata, James, Isco, Varane. I mean, these players would start at most top clubs, and so
Yeah.
I just don't think Danilo is like and like he's not right there, and he's certainly stagnated. I think, uh,
Exactly.
like choosing money over, um, choosing money over actual, um,
Playing time.
yeah,
Yeah. So
playing
you
time.
think that Alexander's big jump is basically off the fact that he's playing a hell of a lot more than Danilo.
Oh yeah, but at the same time, I think that I personally thought Alexandro was better than Porto.
Yeah.
In hindsight, but I do think, I mean, I think Alexandro. Um, I sort of think that Alexandro could be like the Goldilocks solution to Brazil's left back scenario.
Yeah.
Felipe's too defensive. Marcelo's too attacking. Alexandro's just right. I think Alex
Okay.
would be perfect. As whereas Danilo, I wouldn't be shocked if he never ever
Reaches his potential.
call up to Brazil ever again. Honestly, like
hmm Okay. Well, thanks for that. That's quite good and kind of what I expected you to answer. Really, I think everybody got the answer to that. All right, Sam, you had a question that you wanted to put out there. What is it?
Okay, so I think it's a pretty decent question, right? But you might think different. Okay, but basically, this goes to every single one of you. What player that you sold in the last 5 years would you want back at your club right now?
yeah, go on.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, go on.
Kevin, you wanna start off or?
Oh God, yeah, I could just take this. I'm torn between Hulk and Falcao. One of the two I would definitely want back.
What about
Not even James.
James?
No, no, not really. It would be more of an impact player. Not saying that James isn't, but in my opinion, we need somebody that's like a true goal scorer, which is what we're kind of lacking right now.
Yeah.
Or we can use a winger like Hulk.
God, this is so difficult.
It's
I
easy.
could go Di Maria as an obvious answer.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
I think that. Yeah, I don't know about for you, but for me, it would definitely be Thiago Alcantara. I think that this season has made it. I mean, even though we've sold a ton of great players like Cardi and Grimaldo over the years, Thiago, it's so perfect. He's like been one of the best players in the world this season. Whereas this midfield is just so bad.
bad.
So it's just easy to see how different things could have been if we
With
just
Thiago.
with Thiago. Yeah, he's so incredible because he's finally fit. Really, like
Mhm.
there weren't any the excuse that he had, which in my opinion is a pretty good one, is that he just wasn't fit. He wasn't able to play, and now he's finally fit, and we can finally see how truly good he is. He's been Bayern's best player. He's been Bayern's most important player, and I think Bayern. I mean, I think you could argue he's been the best midfielder in the world this season. Whereas, it's just it's a disgrace that Barca sold him for what, like 25 million, and they've bought their worst signings ever for way more than 25 million.
Mhm.
There's an indictment which I actually went on to talk about on Breaking Lines today. But this defeat was a long time coming, and so I think, yeah, it's easy for me, Thiago. But I'm interested to see what you guys say.
Man, like I was saying, I could probably go the easy way and say Di Maria, but I'm thinking more. Man, it's a tough one. What I'm gonna say either Renato. No. Obviously, I could go Bernardo Silva, but
Definitely Bernardo Silva. Come on.
nah, I would go that way. But honestly, we're
What
kind
about
of stacked in wingers, so we wouldn't lose out much. I would say Enzo Perez has been Benfica's biggest loss.
What about Andre?
I could have gone Andre Gomes. I could have gone Andre Gomes. I could have gone Cancel. I could have gone Lima, Rodrigo, Di Maria. I mean, so many players. Renato, Bernardo. But, but I think Enzo Perez was really the high motor of Benfica, and it was kind of why everything clicked so well. And if I had to bring one back, without it being Bernardo, it would be Enzo. Sam, I'm guessing yours would be Slimani, no?
No, actually, I was thinking more
Freddy
the lines.
Montero?
No, as well. Okay, so the answer I give, like we didn't sell him, but he was on loan at our club for a year, and that is Luis Nani. Obviously, the intro that you just heard, if you listen to on iTunes, obviously one of my favorite ever sporting players. So I'm gonna have to go for Nani. Although a close second would be Cedric, in my opinion. So.
Okay, it's interesting questions all around. I think I had the toughest decision, but okay.
I told you it was a good question.
Yeah, it was. I mean, because you could go so many different ways, right? And the reason why I didn't choose Bernardo is because, to be honest, wingers wise, Benfica is, it's still good. So, going Enzo Perez, I think is the most obvious answer. I mean, or Renato, one of those two, because I think it's what's missing on this midfield. But we'll get on to the games now. And we'll start off with Sporting Boa Vista, because I believe Zach has got to go for a moment. So we'll start with that one. I mean, Sporting beat Boa Vista 4-0. Alan Ruiz scored, and then Bas Dost with another 3 goals. 27 in the league, 26. I can't remember.
27,
Something
I
among
believe.
that. Yeah, I think so too. So Patricio in goals, Kilot, Quat Schmidt, and Marvin across the back with William. And who? Bruno Cesar in the middle.
Yeah.
Brian Ruiz, Baldians, Alan Ruiz, and Bas Dost. Sam, what did you think of the game?
To sum it up, it would have to be Nana, Bas Dost. He was amazing.
Come on, you suck. You should
He-
have done that. Na
he-
na. Bastos. Come on, get it right, bro.
Nah. Save for a special. If he does that, he does that in the Overlord against Benfica, then I'll definitely sing it for a good 5 minutes on this podcast. So.
Nah, you won't, because I'll just cut off your mic.
Then I'll sing it for him.
And I'll cut off your mic
We'll all
as well.
sing.
It'll be
Have
a
a sing
one-man
along.
podcast. One-man podcast.
In all seriousness, though, yeah, we played really well. It was an enjoyable game for a sporting fan to watch. I could obviously see when I was covering some Benfica fans were not too happy. So, you know,
Probably not me, because I wasn't even watching the game.
yeah, it was you who tweeted. Is anyone watching this? As in, because we were
No,
dominating.
it wasn't me. It was you, I think.
I knew it was
Or
you as well. No?
Justine or whatever.
I thought it
No.
was both of you. Okay, fair enough. My apologies. But like I said, Bastos had a good game. Podence actually started for once, which was a
Surprising.
good thing. It's very surprising.
Did he play
honestly.
well? Did he play well?
I honestly
don't know.
thought he played well, but
Okay.
I did see some people saying that he didn't really do much. But I thought he had a lot to do. Bastos again, like I said, scored a hat trick. He's just on fire at the moment, I think. And I just saw the guy you mentioned, Delisay, the man. Some criticism of a Benfica striker who said he'd have Bastos in his team. Would you agree, Peter?
Yeah, no. Wait, so had Bastos at Benfica?
Yeah.
I mean, no, not really.
Forget that he signed for Sporting. Like I'm saying, like,
No,
in the
we
summer.
already have Mitroglou. We don't need another striker like him. If we didn't have Mitroglou, I'd say yes.
Fair enough. And in that game, I felt Boavista didn't attack that much, to be honest. It was a pretty one-sided game. I don't remember the name of the Boavista player, but he fouled us. I think it was 5 times before he actually got a booking, which is just stupid, to be honest.
I don't
Usually
know,
it should
man.
be
That
like,
happened Benfica should do as well. Like, so, what?
yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just after like 2 fouls, it should just be a yellow card, obviously. But no, this referee wanted to give 5 fouls before he gave the yellow card, and honestly, he could have been sent. He should have been sent off. But one-sided game. Bastos, man of the match. Podence, I want to see him start more often instead of Brian Ruiz. Last time I said Adam Ruiz on accident, but I meant Brian. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got from the game.
All right. Did Adrian come off the bench?
Adrian came off the bench to play the last 20 minutes of the game. He nearly scored from a header as well, but he headed it straight at the keeper. But it's good to see Adrian back. I really like Adrian as a midfielder, and I think we've missed him over the last couple of games. So.
Okay, this is gonna be basically impossible because Kevin said that he'd be back in 5 minutes, but we're still gonna try and move on. But I'll try and help you out. Okay, I was gonna ask you what you were going to just start off with what you.
I was just gonna say about the transfer rumors that were recent, but if you had something more relevant.
No, yeah, I was just gonna ask you real quick to let the fans know what you're thinking about writing to the website, because I know you got a couple of ideas. So why don't you share with us?
Okay, you're gonna throw me under the bus like that. But,
I mean, come on.
Sammy always gets thrown under the bus. It's a disgrace.
So one of the articles I've started writing, I should probably get back to writing it, is about Portugal's national team, about the new golden generation. So you should be seeing that very soon up on the website. So keep an eye
on that, guys.
Yeah, an unbiased opinion, right, Sammy?
Of course, I have a bias.
Okay, I'm expecting to see Renato there then. I don't.
he is. I've done the list of the players already. So
all right. All right. So now on to your transfer rumors. I know I saw something with Insua again.
Yes. So there was one with Insua saying that he could return to Sporting, but he's on a pretty decent wage at Stuttgart, and obviously Stuttgart about to get promoted from the second Bundesliga. So I don't know. Would I want to see him back? I didn't really like him the first time he was there, to be honest. But I don't know. I think we could get better in that position, in all honesty.
Mane?
So, Mane? in Sua.
No, in Sua.
Stuttgart has a lot of Portuguese. It's weird.
You
Yeah.
know, in Sua, the right back or left back. I
Left
think
back.
he can do
For,
both.
he used to play for Liverpool.
It's mad how they've got a pretty good squad considering they're in the second division, to be honest.
But they got the money, so I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
German teams have the money, so it's not a big deal. But thank God you came back because okay, still have some. You have some more. Sorry.
No, so what were you saying?
Sorry.
Sorry to cut you off, Con.
Oh no, I was going straight up to say that thank God that Zach's back because Kevin's gone, and I was gonna move on to Porto, but since you still have,
Sorry,
still have-
there are two more.
Where did
I
Kevin
apologize.
yeah,
I'm right here.
he's back now. But well, all right. So
I'll keep them short and sweet. So
yeah,
the
go
first
ahead.
one is Rui
No worries.
Patricio, rumoured to Man United, but Sporting want to sell for 45 million. But Jose Mourinho only wants to offer 20. Doesn't make sense to me as they've still got David De Gea, who is one of the best goalkeepers in the world. But you know, if we get 45 from Patricio, I'll be pretty happy.
Hey,
But-
Sam, how's that gift that you always post? Like it's something like now here's the time that we like put
Let me
our
sit
head back.
and laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
There's 1, 2,
That's
3.
my
and we do it.
reaction. That's my reaction to that. Hey, go
And
on.
then there's been a lot of teams that are apparently scouting William Carvalho. A lot of them in France, I've heard Marseille and Lille, as well as teams in the English league. Apparently Arsenal are back scouting William Carvalho even. But
All right.
Bruno de Carvalho wants 35 million, I believe, for William Carvalho. So
Take
those two
30
not
and
going
run.
on the cheap. Or in William's case, slow jog. That's what I always say.
That was good. That was good.
So that is it for Sporting.
All right. Well, we'll get back to Sporting in a bit. So Kevin, Porto played Belenenses in the game that they had a win. It was the most win game. Obviously, Danilo, Soares, and Brahimi converted a penalty. Casillas in goal, Maxi Felipe Bolli coming in for Marcano that got a 50 yellow. And Alex Telles, Danilo, André Oliver, Brahimi, André Silva, and Soares. So back to the 4-4-2. Kevin, what did you think of the game?
I thought it was a dominant performance by Porto. Belenenses didn't really cause any problems. We could have scored more, but we didn't. Another 2 more penalties not called. That's got to be mentioned. I mean, overall, it was a good game. I thought we played really well. I think we could have played a little better, yeah, but we got the job done, and now we have a very tough game this weekend. Good thing that Benfica play first. I mean, it doesn't really matter because we have to win. Yeah, overall, I'm happy. I thought that Tiquinho finally showed up after being kind of quiet for the last couple of games. So that was good to see. It was also very good to see André Silva playing the way he did. He was very involved. He kept fighting for the ball, making some nice passes. It's a different side of André Silva that I haven't seen in a long time. So, I got to give kudos to him. He's one of the players of the match, in my opinion, probably like top 3 for Porto because he did get the assist on the first goal. So I got to give him a lot of credit.
All right. What do you think of this Brahimi's rebirth, or for the lack of a better word?
It's actually a good thing, given the circumstances at the beginning of the season. There was a divide between him and the fans, and some fans wanted him to stay, some of them wanted him to leave. I was on the boat of him wanting to leave, and I believe Simon, when he was on, I think that he also said he should be sold. And I got to give credit to Porto also. They could have taken an inferior offer, accepted it, and we would have just made about maybe a little bit more than half of what the asking price is for him. So now his stock rose again. So now you have the bargaining chip of his performances have been great. So now you can raise his price again and get a little bit more compared to what we would have got. So, but other than that, I mean, it's very good to see that he's back to his old self again. He's not as selfish as he was, still a little bit, but
Still is.
he still is a little bit, but not as much. And he seems like he's trying to be more of a team player. So I can't really be mad at that.
Zach, you had something to say about this topic?
About Brahimi?
Yeah, about Brahimi.
I think it's I think that I just think that in Liga NOS there isn't a more talented player than Yassine Brahimi, personally. I mean, of course, there's some good young prospects like Sivkovic and Gelson, but they're not quite as proven or as good in terms of like they're not as good like dribblers.
Zach, you know who I would refute that with? I would have said Tarab, but he's no longer with me. Nah, but like, but technically,
that's a good one.
and dribbling and all that type, like I think Tarap would rival Brahimi. Like when you say that Brahimi right now is one of the most talented players, or the most talented player, you're talking about like the whole package. Like he can dribble, he can shoot, all that other stuff. Like Zivkovic can't do that. I mean, Zivkovic has great feet, but he doesn't have Brahimi's dribble and all that. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I just think that among when I think of best dribblers in the world, I mean you obviously have got to go Messi, Modric, maybe Iniesta, but also Brahimi. I think Brahimi is just he's got pegado, he can move to his feet. So yeah, I think that Brahimi is one of the best dribblers in the world. And this is, when you get down to the home stretch like it is right now, I think Porto have got a great shot at winning the league because of Brahimi's resurgence.
Yeah. Did anybody, I don't know. I don't know what word I want to go with. But Kevin, when you were watching the game, were you ever worried? Because it always looked, when I was watching, that Porto were always looking like the better team the whole time, as they normally are in their home. Were you ever worried about this one slipping away during the game, or were you always comfortable thinking that you were gonna win?
It was mostly comfortable, but until we scored the second goal is when I kind of started to settle down a little bit. Because I mean, look at the Stubble game; we dominated and had a bunch of chances, and we didn't score. And then eventually, Stubble from nothing managed to get a point on a ridiculous goal. I still think it was lucky, and it cost us 2 huge points where we could have been in first, especially heading into the Clásico. And then, with the last week where we did beat Blanes, we could have still been in the lead. And going into a difficult game against Braga, they could take points from us. I think that the only teams that I think that could take points from us right now is possibly Braga, but I'm more concerned with Chaves and Marítimo. Those two. I mean, Marítimo beat Chaves yesterday, so those teams are in really good form right now, and they're trying to compete for a European spot and get that cash. So, I mean, it's going to be extremely tough, especially both being back-to-back away.
Yeah, and that's a great transition to your preview of the Braga game, because it's this week, right? If I'm not mistaken.
What is it? The Braga game? Yeah, it's this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So, give us your preview. What do you expect is going to happen?
I think it's going to be a tough game for Porto.
Hold on a second. Yo, Zach, can you mute your mic? Because whenever Kevin's talking, it's always a bit robotic. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that.
All right, is this better? Is it working? Good?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
All right. I think it's going to be a difficult game for us. Naturally, it is Braga. I do think Porto was going to come away with maybe a 2-0 win. It could be 3. And I want to. I'm going to be bold here. And
listen, Kevin. Sorry to cut you off here, but we all thought Braga were bad when Benfica went to play them, and they had a good game against us. I mean, there were no pushovers. So I mean,
I'm not saying that though.
You're saying 2-0, 3-0. I think that it's
and possibly even 4.
Okay?
I'm just saying. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying it's going to be 4, but if it
No,
ended like
you
4-1 or
know,
4-0, I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah, but you figure out like my point of view, like what I'm trying to tell you is that we all thought that they
Oh,
were
I know they're no
bad, and they
pushover.
are, but when they still play the big guys, they still wanna be spoilers, they still wanna win. So
Yeah,
that's why I was saying. That's
obviously.
why I'm saying. I mean, you can win 4-0, of course, but I highly doubt that you're gonna have chances to win by more than 2 goals. To be honest, but go on. It's your preview.
No, I just think it's going to end 2-0 for Porto. So that's
Hmm.
basically it. I think we're going to have a good game there. We know we have to win. And it also depends on what Benfica does, too. So if Benfica wins, we know we have to win. If Benfica ties, we might be nervous and it all can go to shit again. But I don't think it's going to go that way again. I really don't think so.
Sam, from a more neutral point of view, we had Braga play Benfica when they were supposedly bad, like I was saying before. But they still they put out a decent game. I know it wasn't the best game, but it was still very even. Do you expect Porto to win easily, or is it gonna be a tough game? What do you expect?
Like you said, Braga are no pushovers. So, wait, what do you say, Braga, right? I'm not just imagining that. Right.
Yeah,
Braga,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yes.
yeah.
Just checking. Yeah, and so I don't think Porto, if they win 2-0, it won't be like a dominating performance, if you know what I mean. It'll just be like, it'll be an even game, but just Porto had the upper hand on scoring. So, yeah, I think it'll be a pretty tough game for Porto, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. All right. Uh, so yeah. So Sam thinks it's gonna be a tough game. Zach, what do you think? Porto can get the win away at Braga?
I'm gonna go with a draw, actually. Yeah.
Okay. And why is that?
Um, I just think that Porto may be a little tired out, and I think Braga. This is a very strong team in my opinion. Well, it's not as strong as it was maybe last season, but I think that yeah, I can see Braga getting a draw. Um, I think that both teams are going to drop multiple points from here on. I can see. Well, I think Maritimo and Sporting will definitely give Benfica a tough time, and Braga I think will get a point against Porto. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, we'll see. And Chaves and Maritimo are also going to be very tough. But yeah, I'm going to say
Yeah.
a draw.
All right, and I actually agree with Zach. We can see both teams drop a couple points here when we don't expect it. But all right, now we'll move on to Benfica, and the least comfortable game to watch. Jesus Christ, that was. Ugh. I still get nightmares thinking about that game. So Benfica managed to win away 1-0 against Moreirense thanks to a Mitroglou header, despite some people not liking Mitroglou. Cough, you know who I'm talking about, cough. He still bailed us out. So it was Ederson in goal, Nelson Smith, Luizão, Lindelof, and Grimaldo across the back. It's nice to see Grimaldo get the call up right after coming off injury. I think he would have kept Eliseu in the lineup, but obviously Rui Vitória sees how important Grimaldo is to this team, and he just wasn't afraid to push him straight into the first team. Feza and Pizzi in the midfield, Rafa, Salvio, Jonas, and Mitroglou. So this game was another one of those typical Rui Vitória away games. And what I mean by this is that if you haven't read my article, I talk about this, is that Rui Vitória's biggest weakness at Benfica is teams that part the bus or defend well, because the team always starts out with lack of pace, just doesn't look like they have any urgency to score, and they're just going about their game like we're going to score eventually, and sometimes it never comes. The defense was especially poor, even though I saw a lot of people praise Luizão and Lindelof. I thought they had bad games. Good enough to not cost us the game because they did make a couple of important tackles. I obviously never don't forget that Lindelof cleared the goal off the line, but it wasn't like their best game. They didn't play well. I thought that you could see Grimaldo's, the fact that he played 90 minutes against Torino, and now he goes back to play another 90 minutes. He's obviously going to be a bit tired, and Moreirense definitely took advantage of that. They played a lot through his side. Drame also gave Nelson Smith a lot of trouble, and I'm kind of wondering here why Sporting actually let that guy go, because he's looking like quite a decent player now. But obviously, this Moreirense team has nothing to do with the one that beat Benfica in the semifinals and then beat Braga in the final to pass the Liga. But still, Benfica just couldn't get this game going. Jonas was completely out of it. Salvio is Salvio. I mean, there's no more point trying to, to talk about him because he's basically done.
So pointless.
Feza obviously looked subpar, mostly due to the fact of his lack of fitness. Pizzi still won another game without getting a yellow, and still can't believe that. And Rafa had a decent game as well. And what I find interesting in Rui Vitória, and I think something that he needs to change, is that he had Servi ready to come in for Rafa. And while 10 minutes before that, I would have agreed with that substitution. He clearly improved vastly, like from the 60th minute to the 70th minute, where to the point that he was being one of Benfica's best players. So I also think that he needs to change that. Like, if a player is playing well and you were going to make that substitution, don't just do it anyway, But, the game wasn't good. It was a very, very bad game, and the only thing that you get from it is the 3 points, and that was the most important. But it was definitely not good to see. And I need to see Jonas work a little bit more. I thought that he was bad in this game. I need to see a bit more from Pizzi, but he's playing better. And the lineup is getting kind of to where it should be. So at least that's a positive, and hopefully, next next Friday, we're gonna have a better 11, maybe with Salvio out of it against Maritim, because we sure need it. But now I obviously need to touch upon the referee. Am I right, Kevin?
Yes, sir.
There we go. All right. So I just want to point out straight away that the play, in my opinion, it was never a foul. The one that ended up giving Benfica the goal. It didn't look at first. It doesn't look in the replays. I think that Drame got robbed of a great tackle, in my opinion. But I do want to point out that it wasn't because of a missed call or a bad call on a free kick that Benfica ended up winning this game, because Moreirense had the chance to do the same thing as well, because there were some, especially Drame once or twice dived, and the referee gave the foul, and it was a very dangerous free kick, and Moreirense just couldn't take advantage. So, I mean, it happened. It was a mistake, but I don't want to say that it was on that free kick. We could have been on the next one or in the corner that Benfica would probably.
But how can you say that, though?
From set. What I'm trying to say is that it wasn't.
That was the final score. It came off that goal. I mean, off that free kick.
Listen, he made a bad call, but he made a bad call to the other side as well, and they just couldn't take advantage of it. Like, it's not my fault that he calls a foul that shouldn't be a foul, and we end up scoring. Like, I mean, it happens.
Not just one bad call in your favor as well.
Yeah, there was quite a few of them. Ridiculous.
We'll get on to that. Okay, I'm talking about this play because it happened when Drame dives. He clearly dived on the other side, and it was a dangerous free kick. We're talking just outside the box. Moreirense just couldn't take advantage of it. Like, it's not my fault that he tried to fool the referee, while the Benfica player didn't even try to fool the referee. I mean, he just fell because, he got contact in, but it was never a foul. It's just because of a mistake that he made.
I know, Peterson. Nobody's blaming you.
No, I'm just trying to say, it happens. Like, these calls, I think, are so much forgivable than penalties, for example. That's just what I'm trying to say. Like, we had, a couple of years ago in the Champions League or in the Europa League, I think it was in the Europa League, exactly, where Benfica played Fenerbahce away from home, and they got a goal kick. No, they got a corner that was a goal kick, and that corner resulted Fenerbahce's goal. So I mean, it happens though. Like I think that corners that should have been goal kicks or fouls that weren't fouls and ended up being called fouls are the least
But that was
of
clear,
mistakes
though.
by the
I mean,
referee.
how did they miss
It
that?
was
They
totally, in my
didn't miss the
opinion.
elbow that the Moreirense player threw that I missed, and I had to wait for the replay, and it did show. He did elbow the Benfica player. They were quick to catch that, but a play that was all ball that wasn't even close to a foul, they missed it.
And
What's the point
you
of
know
having
what
a
I
fourth
think it's
official and a
bad?
linesman?
Exactly. You know what I think it's bad is that the fact that I don't know if you were watching the game, but the referee took a lot of time to decide some plays. Most of it he decided well, but he took a while to call the foul or not call the foul, and that also harms him. Like you gotta be your first thought is what you should gone with. The referee didn't think it was a foul. Somebody told him it was a foul, and he ended up calling a foul. I just don't think like if he didn't think it was one, he should have just let play on. But I mean, it was one mistake, and I don't think that's the biggest one out of this game. Obviously, we can go into the yellows. I think that a lot of Mourinho's players got rash tackles in. Ref didn't give a yellow. I don't mind. It's whatever. Drame escaped the red card, and then face the foul someone yellow, and Samaris foul someone yellow. Both of them are clear yellows, but it was the lack of what's the word that I'm looking for? Come on, help me out, people.
But I have a question for you, though, while you're thinking of this word. I don't know if Sam found the word that you're looking
Consistency.
for. Oh, okay.
Consistency. There you go. On his
All right.
calls, lack of consistency on the calls.
All right, so
But
let me ask you a question.
I was
Did
gonna get to the
Drame,
punch.
just real quick, Drame got a yellow for that.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so why should he see red?
He
You mean he
should.
should have got a direct red or a second yellow?
If, in my opinion, I think it's a straight red. I could see it as a second yellow. It just.
Well, if it's a second yellow, that's bullshit because it shouldn't even have gotten the yellow in the
But
first place.
he also dived and got a foul out of it. And if you dive, it's a
Okay, the
yellow,
referee
and he
missed that, just
escaped the
like you
yellow.
missed the Samadi
Exactly.
punch, just like you
Exactly.
missed the free kick,
I was
just
gonna
like you
get
missed
to
the
the
Luis on
Samaris
red.
punch.
I know this
The,
is your team. You can carry on.
but just to explain you, Drame kicked Servi when he didn't even have the ball. He literally kicked him. No ball whatsoever. That's why I think it's aggression and straight red.
No,
But
that's an aggression then. Samadi's
yeah.
almost took out Alex Tell's head last week, and it was fine.
Anyway, somebody's also clearly get punched someone. Kind of like what happened with Braga Feirense. Exact same type of punch, and he should be punished for at least 3 to 4 games. We'll see how long it's gonna take.
What was the punishment for that player,
We're still
the
waiting
finance
on that
player?
as well. We're still waiting on.
Oh,
In my opinion,
okay.
it should be the
Oh, that was from
same
Friday.
one.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah, it should be the same for both, like in my opinion, because it's the exact same type of thing.
I
Uh,
disagree. I think they should give more to Samadis because
you think? Hold
they
on. So
reviewed the play
did
last
you
week and they said it was
hold
nothing, and then he did this
hold
this week. All
hold
right,
on?
go ahead.
Did you see the Farians punch?
Yeah, I did.
Wasn't it worse the fact that he literally hugged a player and punched him right after that?
Mm.
I mean, you're punching somebody in the stomach. It really doesn't matter if
Yeah,
you're
but
hugging them or not.
okay, but I mean, I think it should be the same for both. It doesn't really matter.
It should be the same for both.
3 to 4 games. We'll see how long it's
Well,
gonna
unless you're
take
going for
though.
Samadis for what he did to Tells last week. Still not getting over that.
You think this?
You shouldn't have even
Now,
played. He should have gotten suspended for this match, and you wouldn't have to worry about him punching somebody in the stomach because you shouldn't even be playing if he's going to be doing that to
but
people.
anyway, it was a shameful thing to do, and I didn't
Yeah.
watch it at first. I was typing in a pod account, and my dad just turned to me and said, "Somebody just punched someone." I'm like, "What?" And it was like, yeah. So then I ended up watching the play, and it's absolutely disgraceful. And some people were like, "Oh, I don't want this guy ever to play on my with Benfica jersey." I'm like, "Calm down. Let's calm down a little bit." I don't think it's that harsh, but it was something that if I was a manager, he wouldn't play for the rest of the season for sure. Because it's just something you can't have in football, and especially being you're a big team, so obviously that should never, never, ever, ever happen. Um, but I think that's it for like the mistakes. Like I said, I think both teams got away with stuff like Luizão and Samaris on the red, Drame on the red, and a couple backhalls for each side. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. It was sloppy. We'll just hope that they can improve on, because this has been going on constantly and it just needs change.
Can I ask a question
Go
very
ahead.
quickly? And I don't mean this in any like sarcastic way. I seriously mean this as like an actual question. If you played more, who'd you play? Sorry, I had a mind blank.
Moreirense.
Well, yeah. If they won the game off that free kick, that was not a free kick, and say one of their players punched Samaris, would Benfica fans not say the same thing that we are saying about Benfica? How it was unfair.
What?
How it was unfair that Samaris didn't like the guy didn't get unpunished. Like, I know you said
Of
this.
course.
But
Listen,
I know
it's
you said
absolutely.
this.
It's. I was just gonna say it's absolutely unfair. What I'm just trying to say, because it could have happened to us. Like I've said, Drame, he dived, got a foul of it, and if they would have scored and would have finished 1-0, I would have said it's unfair. But it's one of those mistakes where I think, we just have to put it past us, because I think there's a lot of worse mistakes, like missing the Samaris red. So
I'm not putting it past me. That costs 3 points. We should be in first, not you.
Listen.
I get what you're
It's
saying,
totally
but
fair.
I'm just.
It's totally fair. What I'm just trying to
It's not
say,
fair.
and you get my point. No, I'm saying it's totally fair. You're a point, bro. Come
Oh,
on.
okay, all right. I apologize.
What I'm saying, is that these fouls happen all the time. Where and it's mistakes like these aren't the worst. I just think it was a clean ass tackle from the first place, so that's why it just annoys me how he got that call wrong. It annoys me, genuinely annoys me, because it was a good tackle. Like there was nothing on it that should have been a foul, and that's just what kind of sucks. But it is what it is. Like we got this call, but he could have gone against us. He could have gone against us, and we need. But Sam, yeah, you
No, that was it.
Benfica
That's
fans
it.
would be.
All have that you still have passion to actually follow and enjoy football. I wish I could say the same for myself.
I mean, there's a little bit of I also, I want to go on just a little bit of a rant, real quick, as to I think that some people need to, and this is not just directed at Justino. It's a lot of Benfica fans.
That means it's directed at him. Go ahead.
No, it's a lot, because I've been seeing this a whole lot, and you gotta figure out, that strikers, especially strikers, have a very hard time playing a game, because if they like the service, not all of them can create on their own, and like I had a lot of people, especially last season, say that Raul was a much better player than Mitroglou because he ran a lot. But that's not the case, because Raul was going to spaces where Jonas goes. Jonas drifts to the wing a lot. Raul does the same. And while he should be in the box because he's got a whistle header, he's never in the box. He's always outside the box, on the wings. And while Mitroglou might not run a lot, he runs well. And he presses the back line. He holds up play quite well. And I think everybody can agree on that. And I think he got a nice assist where he held up the play as well. No, I think he was a Sporting player, wasn't it, Sam? And I don't know if you remember a couple, it was a while ago, where I think it was Bas Dost that literally held up the ball and somebody else took the shot and scored. I don't know if you remember that, but it was a couple of games ago. And I said that was a very Mitroglou-esque assist, because that's the type of player he is.
Oh, I think I think Adam Ruiz scored, right? I believe.
You remember that one?
If I'm being correct, it was the Adam Ruiz goal.
It was Alan Ruiz.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there you go. And we got to look at these strikers that are more box strikers, and look at them in a different way, because, for example, both Mitroglou and Suarez had terrible games just because simply they couldn't have the ball. I'm talking about Benfica Porto. So when you go out there and say that a guy has been bad and like Bas Dost is miles better, no, like Bas Dost,
It's true.
calm down. Bas Dost
Sure.
gets helped a lot from the space that he gets out of playing, because playing Benfica and playing Sporting is totally different, especially to the fact that Sporting is in third place right now. Teams end up not being. It's true. They tend to leave out a little bit of more space, and when you have Gelson creating and Bastos scoring, basically the two main guys on your team, you're obviously going to praise those a lot more. But when you had Benfica and you had Pizzi playing well, you had Jonas playing well, you had Rafa playing well, you had Sevi playing well, you have Zivkovic playing well, it's hard to praise one guy. So despite, Mitroglou has reached like 15 goals this season, and it's like the most he scored in the league. It's great, and he's won Benfica games. We cannot forget the Braga game. We can't forget this game and other games that he started giving us the win. So that was just my rant that I wanted to go on. So that's it. He just said he replied to me, so I just want to read what he said. Is never the right position in the box. See, I think that's completely wrong. I think Mitroglou has killer instincts. Most of the times, he's right there to put the ball in the back of the net. I don't know what games we're seeing. I don't know if you guys agree with me. So just make sure that I'm not alone on this.
I'm not gonna lie. You lagged for me. Did not hear what you said. So if you would kindly repeat.
Justine tweeted out that Mitroglou is never in the right position in the box to score. And I said that I disagree, that he has a killer instinct. Who do you agree with?
He still scored a lot of goals. Just because he doesn't score as many as the great Bastos doesn't mean he's not a good player. So I still think Mitroglou is a good player, even though he plays Benfica, which, sometimes is hard to say. But I disagree. I still think Mitroglou is Benfica's best striker, and he has been for this past season.
And by the way, Justin, nobody's like refuting the fact that Bastos is better, even though I personally just stay back out of that conversation. But I think it's overall everybody agrees on that. But
both get into your team of the year.
Yes, you said Bastos.
Senior doesn't. I'm saying.
What team of the year, though? We're talking about
Liga notes team of the year.
Oh yeah, for sure he's getting.
But where does Tiquinho go then?
Mitroglou?
Tiquinho.
Oh, Tiquinho goes. It goes Suarez and Dust. I don't think Mitroglou gets into it.
You don't think Mitroglou gets in there? Okay.
I don't think Suarez gets in.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's just Mitroglou and Dost.
You think it's just Mitroglou and Dost? Kevin, what about you?
What was the question? I'm sorry, I totally missed that. I was reading something. Sorry.
Tiquinho. I feel like two of them have got to be in your team of the year, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah,
who gets left out then?
And also, yes, Mitroglou gets left out. You put Dost and Suarez in the team of the years.
Okay.
As I also believe, and I genuinely believe, I believed last year, that Jonas last year should have gone into the UEFA's like team of the year. No. Just like I think Bastos should, because Bastos right now is in for the Golden Boot, and if he wins that thing, or if he finishes third, I also think that they should get into it. But just hold the play, he can't do that. I don't know. I can't refer it to you in a game, but he's done it before, and if I see it, I'll point it out to you. But I just don't like how people tend to say that he's bad and Raul is better. Wow, Raul would never ever score 25 goals a season, just because But there you go. That was my rant. It's kind of done and over with. And unless somebody wants to say anything, we'll move on to the question that we got.
I'll be very brief before I forget. I think I might have forgotten. Hold on. All right, no, I didn't. All right, two things. I'll start off with the videos. I don't know if anybody noticed last week. I haven't had a chance to do it yesterday, but I'll do it tonight. We're reposting all the videos from all the games, like the highlights and stuff. from V Sports. We just retweet from them, and you can watch all the highlights from every game, and it tells you the result, obviously. So there's that. And the second thing is, besides today, I know I spoke on Benfica, but I'm going to pull out a Sporting move here and be on a blackout for the rest of the season. I'm not going to be criticizing refs during Benfica games, anything like that, until the rest of the season. I have nothing to say about Benfica. If I have to,
Hopefully you will during the pod.
yeah, like I'll give an analysis of the match, but I'm not going to say like if there was a controversial call, whatever. I'll just say like,
Okay.
you
It's
know,
fine,
like
it's fine.
Maritimu played better, Benfica played better, should have been a draw the way that the game was
Right.
going until the end of the season. At the end of the season, I'll write everything down so I don't forget, and I hope we make the pod like a couple hours long if Benfica does win the league, because I'll have to go
Calm
back to
down,
everything.
Kevin.
And
I'm
just
sorry,
saying.
but no, we're not gonna make it a couple hours long just because of you. But I mean, anyway, we're straight up going right into the grind out of this thing because we're gonna pump out articles. These podcasts. We got a lot of guests coming in. We're almost at episode number 50. I'm still unsure whether we're gonna do an episode number 50. By the way, people, episode number 49 is right after the season ends, and episode number 50 is straight up after the Taça Portugal final. So if you keep that in your calendar. All right, but we'll get on to the Twitter question that we got, and it was out of Clara, and she asked us who are the biggest B team talents, and what are your thoughts on the B teams this season? Does anybody want to take right now on this?
I'll go first.
I like
If you want.
but he's having a bad season.
Who?
Kalaika on Benfica.
Mm-hmm.
He's good. There's also Rui Pedro, right? I mean, he gets
Yeah,
but he's still kind of a B team talent, which I like. Good.
Name a Sporting one.
Sporting one? Oh, I mean,
I know
my C team talent's better than my B team talents, honestly. Daniel Berganza, of course.
Is that the guy that you're gonna use all the time? Oh my god.
No. Okay, the B team talents.
Just one. Because you mentioned Kalaika for Benfica, you mentioned Rui Pedro for Porto, name one for Sporting.
There is a lot. I think MP. Are we counting Gerald? Are we counting Gald as one?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so I mean, I like Ryan Gald. I think that MPs and Marquez are also pretty good, but I would go with Gald because I'm not sure. I think the Sporting move kind of delayed its progress a lot. I don't know how good it'll ever be. Yeah, I'm gonna go with MPs.
Now Sam.
I'm not too familiar with Benfica and Porto ones, honestly. But
no, just to do Sporting. I asked him to do all three because he's a neutral, so that's why.
Okay. So for Sporting, I'm not really I'm not sure if you consider it a B team, but Mateus Pereira obviously has got to be up there. He has started B team. I'm gonna go with. Although I was thinking that Gelson, is it Gelson Dala?
Yeah.
The Angolan?
Yeah, Dala.
Him as well. He's supposed to be on the roster, the roster, whatever it's called, in the next season. So
what about Papel?
I don't know about Papel, honestly. So yeah, for me it's Mateus Pereira.
All right. And what are your thoughts on Sporting's B team, because they were almost relegated, or like straight up relegated, and now they're like a couple points off Benfica, which is what they are, like in 7th place. So what are your thoughts on how they performed this whole season? I mean, so far, obviously we're down the line, but would you say it's successful or? Sam.
Sorry, what? I was typing a tweet. I apologize.
Oh my god! So I was just talking to myself. So hold on, I'll let you know where they are in the standings. Everybody, oh my god, come on. So Sporting is just 3 points up Benfica, and Benfica are 9th. Given that Sporting were almost all the season in relegation zone, and right now they're standing in 13th place, kind of safe. What do you say their season was a success? What do you think of their season performance?
I'm honestly not sure. I've not really kept an eye on the B team like in the last couple of years, so I don't know what they finished before. But finishing 13th, or even we didn't with the talent in that team. I don't think we should have been near the bottom. So I'd say unsuccessful.
Damn.
And what about you, Kevin? If you had to point out one talent, and that left back counts because he starts regularly. I forgot his name, but
Inacio.
Ignacio, there you go.
Yes. I have to go with the clear choice. Rui Pedro. He saved the main squad's bacon against Braga, so I think that he'll be in the main squad hopefully within the next year or two. But yeah, Rui Pedro is the obvious choice.
And Sporting in Porto are just with the same points as Sporting, but ahead of them in 12th place. They were also most of the season in relegation zone. What do you think of their season? You can't call it a success for him. The defending champions are now 12th place.
Yeah, it's a letdown with winning it last season, and then this season. I mean, granted that they had Andres Silva last season for the majority of the season, but yeah, it's disappointing. But I mean, it's only the Segunda Liga. They can't get promoted. They can get demoted. I don't think it's gonna happen, but
No,
it
they're
sucks.
not. They look safe, but yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, Benfica. I mean, this is difficult, but since I don't want to go with a younger guy than I should, because I would probably say João Felix. I'm going to go with. Come on, Diogo Gonçalves. There we go. My God. My bad. I kind of got blank trying to figure out his name. But Diogo Gonçalves, I will go Diogo Gonçalves. He looks like the most ready player right now, at par with Ruben Dias. Expect them to make the jump, if not to the A squad, to some team in the Primeira Liga to get loaned out. Their season, they're now in 9th place, but they were most of the part top 5, top 4. So I would consider it a success despite 4 losses in a row. What we're trying to do is create players and a winning mentality, and they're doing just that. They're the youngest team in the league, and when you're the youngest team in the league and you're 9th, I'd say that's a success. So we'll be back next week, next Tuesday with Rich. Well, we're going to be talking about all the games, obviously, but with a heavy focus on Braga Porto. So we'll see you
Buenos
guys
noches.
Well,
next week.
Niño.
Bye.